Sorry for that interruption yesterday. It happens. It happens. It was just over silly stuff about wrapping paper for Christmas, basically, and the cats wanted to lay in the box. They just wanted to lay in the box full of the wrapping, and she was getting mad at, like, why do you have it open? I just wrapped a gift. I wrapped a gift for my dad. It was a sci-fi book because he's kind of nerdy like that, but whatever. So yeah, that's what that was about. So when y'all see this, it is what it is, you know. But separating the astroturf from the organic. The fuck does that mean, huh? What's going on, Jake English? So, oi, oi. Um, what the fuck does that mean? Well, I'm looking at this. How you doing, Shaq Reyes? You doing all right? And Jake English, you doing okay? I hope y'all doing all right. I hope y'all are staying warm. It's getting kind of nippy, I imagine. I'm not sure about where it is where you are. Um, I saw the pitiful astroturf riot, or well, quote unquote riots. These organized protests that occurred in Chicago over Kyle Rittenhouse. They're astroturf. Let's not get it mistaken. Oh, what's going on, American Dissident? How are you? I'm glad. I'm glad. Um, I was gonna say though is I saw these pitiful astroturfed protests. We saw Jacob Blake's cousin, I think, or something like that. Yeah, Jacob Blake is the one that's in a wheelchair now because he got shot in the back, I think, 7 times or something like that by the cops. Um, like I say, I don't want to belabor um what's happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. There are plenty of people who actually get money to talk about it. For me, people are still. I'm doing all right. People are still talking about it. People are still hooping and hollering. Give it a couple more days. People will forget. Um, it's just a lot of cope out there about that. But anywho, we see these pitiful protests, and they are completely astroturfed when they mention crossing of the state lines. Bullshit. But it's trying to understand the difference between astroturf and organic, and it's a very fine line. I would say this is that if you see Jesse Jackson or you see what's the other guy, the one that had his own MSNBC show, guy who used to be fat, now he's like I can't think of it. But anywho, when you see those two old black dudes, that means the U.S. is fascist. Libs coping. Oh yeah, there are plenty of libs who are like, you actually need to leave the U.S. because it's going to get worse. I'm like, you motherfuckers are pussy. But yeah, um, I don't get that shit. To be honest with you, so we need to understand that there are astroturf protests such as these going on. Nothing is going to occur. Number one, it's November. Nobody wants to go out in the cold like that, unless there's a lot of press coverage, and there really isn't. It's all astroturf stuff in like Chicago. It's like you could be protesting about plenty of deaths in Chicago that happen every fucking day, but you're bitching about Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin. Yeah, think on that for a minute. But it's just bullshit to me when you see all this nonsense. It is what it is, but you have to understand the difference between. Have you seen Rue's video on Kyle? I have not. I'm sure it is awful. I'm sure it is dog shit. I wonder what his video about Kyle Rittenhouse is. Let's go ahead. I'll take a look here. I really don't want to because I don't fuck with that dude. I don't fuck with him because I think that he's just a cringe loser, in my opinion. He's just a loser who's just now he's gonna call himself, pagan and shit like that. It's just give me a fucking break. I think that I just think he's full of crap. It's like nobody's watching his stuff. He's got 41,000 subscribers And on his QAnon shaman video, sentenced to 41 months in prison, 833 views. Fallout 4, he's got a stream of that, 283 views. Nobody's watching this dude. That's not to say my numbers are great. Let's not, I'm not going to say mine is, but god damn, Let me listen to some of this. I won't be able to do it on stream, but support me on Patreon. We don't care.
That he carried out. From day one, it was very obvious that the judge was completely on Rittenhouse's side.
No, that's bullshit.
Repeatedly or are you going to be a leftist and rebel against an unjust system?
What are you got? I don't want to hear this. He's about to, synthesize, MLM with Odinism. Yeah, he's a cringe pagan LARPer now. He's joined like the VAR group. This is what happens when you become too online with politics and like religion and shit like that. He talked about converting to Islam too. I remember that. He said, I'm going to convert to Islam. I remember seeing that on Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he said he's going to convert to Shia Islam. I'm like, I literally pull better views with 80 subs. Yeah. This guy, I remember I put up that video and it got taken down. But I remember he's like, he wanted to convert to Shia Islam. I'm like, what? What the fuck is this? I can't take him seriously though. He just continues to LARP his way around doing the same bullshit. He continues to do the same bullshit and he just goes further and further into this hole. And it's like, other than the edgy shit that he tries to put out, it's like nobody cares. Literally nobody. I try not to give Vosh credit because, like, yeah, people are still listening to his bullshit, but nobody's listening to Jason Unruh's bullshit. I know that for sure. Nobody is listening to that bullshit because he's pissed so many people off. But it's like, yeah, online paganism is a joke. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, it is. I remember I was arguing about paganism before. Yeah, Marxist pagans, exactly. Yeah. Why does the Canuck care about the U.S. or an MLM 3W care about the U.S.? I thought he wanted the U.S. to disappear. Yeah, yeah, it's funny to me how, as much as he'll claim to be a third worldist, he doesn't make videos about these third worldist countries. And then when he does make videos about the third world, he's like, they're not doing revolution right. So he's a fucking idiot. Oh no, it is. Oh yeah, America is an astroturf country. Absolutely, it is. He works some regular bullshit job and then makes his LARPing ass videos. Where he's, I can't even I don't even care. I just don't care. It's like he's continuing to grow his beard. He continues to have a faux hawk when he's almost 40 years old. How can you be that fucking old? I mean, this nigga is a little bit older than me, but it's like, how can you be almost 40 years old? And I'm pretty fucking close to it. Let's not get it twisted. How can you be that old and then continue to have a faux hawk? Why? He's saying Hitler and the Nazis were devout Christians, Lamau. Yeah, that's bullshit. Like I say, I mean, you can get into so much shit about Hitler, this and that, because it's like they played both sides of it, being pagan and being Christian. It's like, yeah, the SS in general were pretty pagan in a lot of ways, and they burned down Christian churches and shit like that. Whereas the army tried to maintain some sort of Christian thing, and various Nazi folks, some were Christian and some were pagan. It's like you look at the myth of the 20th century guy, Rosenberg. He was a pagan. As far as I know, he was a pagan. But it's like I don't like to get into the whole pagan versus Christian argument. There are LARPers on both sides, but pagans are especially worse, in my opinion, because they really think that, you know, Christians stole pagan, holidays. Shut the fuck up. I mean, that's my view. The Ummah will prevail. Inshallah. Inshallah. Yeah, it will. I mean, I'd rather have Islam, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm fine with Islam. If Islam and Christianity can have some sort of, you know, uh, understanding, I'll put it that way, some sort of understanding, some sort of truce. And I've said my own feelings about truce, but if there can be some sort of understanding between Christianity and Islam, then that would be a much better world than some sort of cringy paganism. I just go ahead and have your runes and shit. I don't even. I'm not even against that really, but it's like when you think that you're actually gonna remake paganism, it's like no, you're just gay. You're just stupid. Um, or you're just a loser, really. But anywho, genuine protest versus astroturf ones. Have I ever been to a protest? Fuck no, but I'm gonna give my bullshit ignorant take on it. So I think that astroturf protests and astroturf countries, like the United States, will argue about the most ridiculous shit. People will get all up in arms about it. And like I say, you saw the video I posted on my channel where it's like, Hitler was a yeah, Christians in the West fail to understand that Muslims believe Jesus is the Messiah and that he will defeat the Antichrist. Oh, well there you go. Agnostic deist, I think. Yeah, like I say, I mean, even speaking about Hitler too, is that apparently sometimes you get some deep hardcore Zionists who are like, actually, Hitler said that he liked Islam. It's like people can't get it straight. It's like I've never met him, and you could have plenty of writers that say that, but it's like if you're that dumb and you really think that Nazism was purely Christian or purely pagan or purely whatever, you're an idiot. It's like the U.S. claimed for a long time to be purely Christian, but it's like it was about money, and that's about evangelicalism more specifically. I'm going off on a tangent. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I just think there's a lot of astroturf bullshit out there. The real shit that went on was, that occurred during this summer. I think to a point, Asatru is pretty interesting in my opinion, and then looking into it didn't turn me into a pagan. But now I finally understand Nietzsche's criticism of Christianity. That's fair. J6, yeah, J6 MAGA baked Alaska streams. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Hitler was a yeah, Hitler was a Muslim, as Jason Unruh is Shia. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think it's ridiculous. Like I say, I don't like to talk about religion as much. I haven't been to a church or any sort of thing in a while, so I can't really give my take on it. I'll make the sign of the cross as if I'm Catholic, but not, I'm not officially Catholic, but make the sign of the cross and, do that. That's about the extent of, my belief, to be honest with you. But yeah, where the fuck am I going with this? Does it even matter at this point? Who cares what I was saying, right? Who cares? Who cares about what the title is? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's just silly to see. I think that the nature of protesting is going to change a lot. Um, they're going to people are going to be further vetted. The Zionists will cry about Muslim collab with the Third Reich, but unironically uphold Stern and Lehi. Oh, absolutely, exactly. That's true though. That is true. That is true. But I was going to say is that protesting is going to change a bit more. People are going to be vetted much harder. Um, I think that there's going to be a lot more. I think it's gonna. I think that we're reaching another level of protest. I think we're reaching another level of like all this stuff. Yeah, Hitler also criticized Himmler trying to bring back German paganism, a dead religion. Yeah. What was the last protest you supported? Shit, I can't think of one to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I just think it's been entertainment. There's plenty of riot porn that's occurred over the past couple of years. With Portland riot number 455 or whatever the case may be. Be a Shabos brain force AF salesman within 6 months. Good video about that. Yeah, like I say, it is what it is with Rittenhouse. I saw something on Twitter. It was ridiculous, but I saw that they said Rittenhouse was actually a female to male transgender. I was like, what? He's an FTM. I'm like, bro, what? I was like, that's nuts. But I don't know. Just realize that these protests. and shit, they're not going to happen the same way anymore. I think people are starting to realize, and they've realized this also with Grosskreutz as well. Yeah. These liberal protests are targeted at small businesses and people's homes instead of government offices because they're dogs of the system. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I agree. Written true. Yeah. Peter Coffin Lamau. Oh, yeah. Peter Coffin. He's ridiculous too. It's interesting. You know what? I get off topic, but you know what? I'll go ahead and say this too. It's interesting you mentioned Peter Coffin and seeing him, his whole sort of I'm going towards this patriotic left wing sort of stuff with like Haas and stuff like that, infrared. And somebody who I think is trying to channel that somewhat, but is trying to do his own thing is Caleb Kane. Caleb Kane, aka Faraday Speaks. Apparently, that Faraday Speaks was on that historic.ly, the ML channel, that one with the he's the guy that made the Rittenhouse transfem tweet. Oh, really? Okay, because I thought that was somebody. Okay, he's the one that made that. Oh, okay. I had no idea. I don't mess with that dude, Peter Coffin. I just think he's a loser. I don't see why anyone takes him seriously. He's always been a cringe loser. He's always been this guy. It's like I can say this because I'm a fairly big loser myself, but it's like this guy made himself famous because he kicked himself in the nuts in front of Steve Harvey. That's the whole thing. That's what people need to remember. That's how he became famous originally, was because he kicked himself in the nuts. Nobody knew who this nigga was. And then he, became like a sort of anti SJW sort of guy who, did all these cringy videos and shit like that. And then he became a bread tuber. Then he got tired of that. And now he's more of like this let's make podcasts shit sort of thing. I think he's, I just think he's a grifter of the utmost level, but there are plenty of retards who still think he's true. Yeah, your humble nature is much appreciated. Yeah. Well, I know better. I know better. But yeah, Marxism won't achieve success in the U.S. It's not. It's just not compatible. No, I do agree. I agree. It does not. It won't. Um, the U.S. Faraday ContraPoints were ultra cringe. Oh yeah, but I think it's funny to see how Faraday is trying to. He's trying to get another 15 minutes of fame. It's like he was with a lot of those folks who were like, "Yeah, we're against this, we're against that," sort of thing, and we're fighting, the far right and shit like that. It's like the far right. I mean, there are plenty of folks out there who are angry and shit like that, but it's like if you think that Richard Spencer is a fucking threat today, then you're an idiot. He's not a threat. Richard Spencer doesn't have enough money. He barely has enough money to go to Virginia for this civil court case that's been going on. It's ridiculous to me. Who do you think is really leading the far right? Nobody. Nobody. There's plenty of goofy ass niggas who are saying goofy ass shit. Between Five Guys and Firehouse Subs, what should I get? I would say Firehouse Subs. I'm going to say Firehouse Subs. Yeah, that's my opinion. That may be a hot take, but I don't know. Yeah, I'd say Firehouse. Yeah. True crime pipeline. Oh yeah. Spencer lives in a $1 million mansion. Yet Spencer. Yeah. Well, he got some of that money, as far as I know, that comes from like his parents because his family used to be from Virginia, and so they had some. They were literal slaveholders, I think, and shit like that. So he's got that sort of money. Not to say that but I mean the nigga. I mean, I remember seeing a picture of him recently. He's dressing like fucking Harry Potter. I was just like, this nigga. I don't the whole 5% meme and shit. It's like I follow some of those niggas. It's like sometimes they make an okay point, but for the most part, I don't really care about the 5%ers. But you know, but you are correct though. And the thing is, of course, there is some, there were residents of a Whitefish who did, have a backlash against him and shit like that. But yeah, He hasn't said much. Okay, have a good one. Enjoy the presumably the firehouse or five guys, whichever way. I'm not picky. Hey, go for it, man. Bo the fifth column has not said anything about Rittenhouse, as far as I know. He has decided to keep his mouth shut because he knows that there are a lot of people. He's he's going to let people believe what they believe. Oh, really? Oh, he gets an allowance. That makes more sense. Yeah. It happens. It happens. I think my however many greats on my dad's side. Yeah, he's got the plantation money. Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, what the fuck was I going on with? But yeah, basically, Bo the fifth column hasn't talked about Rittenhouse because I think that he doesn't want to make things worse because he at least ostensibly calls himself a libertarian. Angler won in Cantwell the March on Whitefish back in 2015. Lol, what a shit show that would be. Oh my goodness. In little old Whitefish, Montana. Holy shit. That would be sad. That would have been so retarded. But yeah, I mean, there is no leader of the far right. You just have a bunch of angry motherfuckers out there who are just they just want to say the N word and shit post, you know? And there's a lot of niggas who want to do worse, but it's like they don't want to just end up in jail for nothing or end up dead. So a lot of folks are just kind of but they're biding their time. They're biding their time waiting for something else. But then again, so is the left. Everybody's waiting, I think, to a point. People aren't saying this out loud, but this is my take. People are waiting for some sort of messiah. They're waiting for that one person or they're waiting for that group of people to come out and to make things better. That's why, especially with right-wing folks, they're like, "Oh, my base judge." No, the judge wasn't based. And the thing is, if you see these idiots who are like, "Oh, the judge was biased in his favor." No, he was not. No, the judge was a pussy who delayed as much as he could. If you really think that, you're a retard. But we know that these Rittenhouse protests and all this sort of stuff, nobody's going to do anything. Nobody's going to really go after him. At least not seriously. There's a lot of shit that could happen, but I don't think there is. I really don't think anything's going to occur from that. The
Authorities in the
the choices, the energy is online, I think. Oh my goodness. Russell Bentley. Hold on. Hold the fuck on here. Russell Bentley, huh?
His Tejas done by
I personally don't care. Like I say, Russell Bentley is another person, speaking of, who I think he has lost. I constantly hear the F word in my environment. Yeah, I guess they're all far right. Exactly, yeah. Today they marched with Brittany from, yeah, politically provoked. Oh, yeah, they would. Yeah, they would. Because a lot of them are just desperate simps. But yeah. I'll go ahead and upload this video. I'm not gonna upload, but I'll send the link out. Apparently, I'm losing track of the names. I'm sorry. Um, Russell Bentley put up a new video, so I'll go ahead and let y'all watch it. But yeah, I really don't care about Russell Bentley either. I mean, he's just too old to go out there and start fighting, so he'll just put out these videos and he does his little humanitarian work. But I'm like, who gives a fuck about Russell Bentley? I don't know. There's a lot of there's. I'll say this. And I think a lot. This is what people are saying. Is people simultaneously they want somebody to come out and to say some cool stuff, which is why a lot of folks are simping for Youngkin as if he's going to do something, when in reality he's not. Simultaneously though, they want somebody to come out and to be a hero, but then they but then they're so black pill towards anybody coming out like eventually they're going to be a fed, eventually they're going to sell out. So like I said, this is the duality of man. This is the real duality of man, where it's like they want somebody to come out and to be a leader, But then when they come out to be a leader, they're like, okay, we're waiting for this nigga to fuck up. And that's where we're at today. Both the left and the right, to a large degree, are like that, where they want somebody to come up and promote their values and basically tell them what they want to hear, but they don't want to put it in. That's my view, yeah. Put anti-Semitism laws on the book. Oh, absolutely. He's a simp. Yeah. Absolutely. Youngkin is no hero. I'm sorry for being so stuffed up. I don't think I have a cold because I'm not gonna say that. Don't worry, I'm not gonna say that out loud. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just bullshit. I really do. I think it's just, a lot of folks are just upset and they just want to shit post at this point. A lot of folks just kind of they don't know where to go. And so they'd rather just say base judge or, base this person or whatever the case may be, because they're just so desperate for anybody who's even remotely on their side, including Rittenhouse. That's the whole thing, including Rittenhouse, where it's just like, yeah, we won against, the left. No, he got off. That doesn't mean he represents you. It's like, yeah, good for Rittenhouse on that, and good. I just can't put that much emotion into it because, like, it doesn't really, directly affect me. There are plenty of folks who are just, running their mouths about shit, and then the narrative will change. Spencer is weird. He's basically a race realist progressive. His Biden simping is so cringe. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And court TV OJ bullshit. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You see how much, see how many people were watching Rekieta streams. Now, mind you, I was watching Nick Rekieta as well. But we saw Nick Rekieta, who, of course, people remember as being, Ethan Ralph's sort of gunt sidekick in a way. That's how people, at least that's how I saw him. That's how I saw him. But now he's grown into this whole new thing, and we see all these we see all these different lawyers who have come out. Now, of course, I wait for the day when these lawyers are going to be attacked, and I wait for these lawyers to have bread tubers and people like Vosh, who call out Nick Rekieta and call them fascists or whatever, but they're too scared to get at them because they're lawyers and they could sue their pants off. So I don't know, but yeah. A guy on 4chan was arguing Rittenhouse should be canonized because there was divine intervention in the shooting. Yeah, exactly. Made a bunch off gun lawyer cringe. Oh, absolutely, he did. Daddy, no, and all that shit. Yeah, I remember vaguely. And there was that time after he abandoned Ethan Ralph, rightfully so. He was just still doing that sort of like nerdy shit about like what was it, like Dragon Ball or something like that, wasn't it? Like the guy who was I forget what the fuck it was, but yeah, even Vosh is basically a libertarian. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he is. He'll kind of talk about he's basically a chameleon now. He'll talk about libertarianism and then go on and say, "Yeah, we need a strong state though because we need to oppose the far right." It's like, no. I mean, if anything else, this may be a hot take, but if Republicans and GOP ever took over, it would not be like it wouldn't be like Nazi Germany. I don't think they would talk about that, but no, it would be more like Salazar, in my opinion. And I have a book on my shelf right now about Salazar that I have not read or looked at, but I imagine that's what it would be if the GOP ever retook things. It would be like Salazar or it'd be like Franco. And even then, it would be like much reduced. It'd be so watered down, you couldn't even tell the difference. But that's how it would be. It would not be like some, fascist Italy. No, it would not. You shouldn't be emotionally invested in any politician. It leads to a cult of personality. Blump and Q-tards being a prime example makes you not see the wood through the trees. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Would be Boomerville, in my opinion. Oh, it would be. It would be. Like I said, people actually think that Republicans are going to be like, they're going to have fascism coming in. No, it's not. This country Like I said, this is why I see balkanization to be the only real way. Balkanization, some sort of locale, some sort of localism, some sort of regionalism. What's your take on Salazar then? I think Salazar, I'll be honest with you. Salazar did the best he could for Portugal. I think that he held Portugal together in sort of quasi Francoist sort of manner where it's like we're going to be Catholic and we're going to organize things and everything, but it's not going to be bad. And even then, of course, he had a bloodless revolution to get to get him out after his death. And but he was an economist. You have to remember is that Salazar was an economist, and he really wasn't, like a hardcore sort of guy. He was just he was a trad cat that was nerdy who talked about who talked about economics. That's my take. But yeah, that's politics in general. Yeah, we need to be as dispassionate as possible, and if people can't do that, they shouldn't be in politics. Oh, absolutely. Fascism more likely to come from Dems. Yeah, I've somewhat. Yeah, I think Dems are also pussy though. I think they're both pussy. The thing is that yeah, I think in general, I think to a point, I'm going to have to agree to a point with what Vosh said and what others have said to a point. I know that's cringe, but both parties are going to have to move away from centrism, like center right or center left. They're going to have to move away from that and actually go more towards socialism or go more towards fascism. Now, of course, like I say, they're not going to go whole hog. They're not going to do that. They are not. They're going to delay it as much as possible, and they're going to water it down as much as possible. But I don't know at this point. You know what else is cringe? Let me finish up this kind of rambly stream with this. Is apparently hold your horses for this. Sit down if you're waiting. Beto O'Rourke is going to run for governor of Texas again. Yeah, Beto O'Rourke is going to do it again. He's going to run for office. Wow, right? I know the silence is immense, but yeah. So Beto O'Rourke is going to run again for governor of Texas. He's a moron, and more specifically, he is he's just nothing really. He's somebody who's just he's so milk toast and boring that doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, he used to be an edgy gamer bro. He was like one of the OG gamer bros, actually, because he used to be one of those guys. He was a hacker. He was, yeah, or Robert, yeah, exactly. He was a hacker who used to write all sorts of edgy shit and all that, running people over and shit like that. His wife is the daughter of a very is a of a rich real estate owner, real estate broker. Um, his dad was a judge, all this sort of stuff. Like I say, he's got a fair amount of, you know, legacy stuff there. But yeah, Gamergate 3. Oh yeah. Exactly. They're bringing back Gamergate too. They're bringing it back, bro. Gamergate. It's all Gamergate. And of course, they give the same bullshit takes. They give, sorry. They give the same sort of, like, oh well, actually, what's his name? Steve Bannon, used Gamergate to, engage the far right. It's like, give me a fucking break. It's like, okay, that was then. Does it still exist today? No, it doesn't. And what are you going to do against it? Nothing. Mencius Moldbug and Beto O'Rourke were part of the cult of the dead cow. Really? That makes sense. That would make sense. It's basically, yeah, it's just two false, yeah, it's the false dichotomy sort of thing. But yeah, it's the false dialectic, if you will. But Sargon will be happy then. Oh yeah, exactly. I'm kind of running out of steam, folks. Is there anything else I should talk about? I really don't think there is. I mean, Yeah. NRX co-opt all these fake conservative people. Oh yeah, exactly. I like I say, people are in general have given up in terms of politics. I really do. I mean, people are willing to give up their whatever morals for $1,000 a month. I remember Yang Gang. I do. I remember when Yang Gang was cool. It was it was completely talking about astroturfed in the title here, but Yang Gang was astroturf. There were a lot of fake accounts on Twitter who did like schizo memes and shit like that. But they were like, hell yeah, $1,000 a month, bro, and everyone had the Yang Gang hat and whatnot. And I got tired of it because I'm a natural contrarian, and I joined Kang Gang. And Kang Gang, yeah, we was Kangs. Kang Gang was to say, yeah, we're gonna get Tariq Nasheed elected. Uh, in some circles, it was briefly. Like I said, this was like 2018, 2019. It was briefly cool. It was briefly cool, but then it turned into shit. It was briefly cool though. There were people who were like, "Yeah, Yang Gang, bro," and you know, Baked Alaska tried to suck whatever energy he could from it. But yeah, is a circus of ideologies in a vacuum. Oh yeah, this is true. It's all just a fucking mess. It really is. It's just a fucking mess. And you just come to a point, and I'll talk about this too. Let me finish up on this schizo point, but check out House of Comments YouTube channel. An Indian guy who used to Zeke Kyle in London pushes Zionism now. Wow, there you go. House of Comments, huh? Let's go ahead and see. I want to see what this guy looks like here. Oops. Oops. ENTS. Okay. House of Comments. There we go. Videos. Oh wow, he is pretty cringe. Yeah. Who tends to fire? Yeah, Indian guy, of course. Oh yeah. I mean, Indians are oof. But yeah, we're just kind of stuck in this whole sort of thing where it's like, looks like Apu from The Simpsons. Oh yeah, he does. He does. Yeah. I just so I've heard. Yeah. He's apparently a Fed who collects data and doxing as well. Wignat design his pipeline. That's not that's really not that far of a pipeline though. To be honest with you, it really isn't. Um, but yeah, I'm getting sleepy. I need to take a shower because I got to go out a little bit later and get stuff for Thanksgiving because we do celebrate it. We just we give lip service to it basically, but it's one of those things where it's like and of course the memes and the jokes of course continue to spawn themselves where it's like you know Thanksgiving, where you argue with your family for hours over politics, and it's just like I don't know, at this point I don't really care about it. It's the same thing where it's like where you'll still have retards. Yeah, I would recommend some Anthony Giddens. His book on modernity and self identity is really interesting. Oh, that does sound cool. But I'll finish up, like I say, I'll finish up with this Wignet NRX pipeline. Happy Thanksgiving, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say people like Julie were really, have really made that transition. I think to like a sort of kind of loose German nationalist, but he used to be like an accelerationist. I think he just got tired of the LARPing. It was like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah. But my racist Thanksgiving is a racist holiday. Yeah. But I think I'll go ahead and wrap this up here pretty soon. I'm just rambling at this point. What I will say though is, just try to stay safe. I always try to say that to folks. Just try to stay safe in these holidays, man. Try not to get caught up in this bullshit. Don't fall for the bullshit that a lot of these folks are saying, like, how do I convert my family to leftism? It's like, yeah, it's made that transition. Yeah, he has. Yeah. Feel as you want to about him. Feel as you want to. I know he's got plenty of memes and plenty of edgy bros, but yeah. Tell your relatives about the cathedral at dinner. They'll love it. Oh, yeah, exactly. Who cares about converting people? But there are plenty of retards who are like, how do I convert my family? How do I red pill people? How do I bread pill people on this? Nobody cares. Just let it go. Just enjoy your life. Just try to stay warm. Um, keep your distance from the bullshit, as I always like to say. Just live your life, man, and just watch out for these motherfuckers, man. You know, that's my take on it anyway. Avoid this bullshit as much as you can, because the Fed posting is going to continue. The rando shit is going to happen. That's all I can tell you. Anywho, I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Yeah, have a good day, lads. Yeah, the racists will be vindicated in the end. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, who talks politics to their family? Yeah, there are some goobers who do. Yeah, amen, Thomas. Don't red pill, fed pill, or lead pill anything. Oh, yeah, exactly. Don't take pills. Go natural. There you go. That's all I got. I hope y'all enjoyed this stream, this kind of schizo stream. And see you later. Goodbye.